Welcome back to Gambling Flow, your daily dose of everything exciting in the gambling world.
Absolutely.
I'm Russell Kane, and with me is the one and only Fiona Blake.
Hello.
She is our resident expert. Today, we're going deep
Deep.
into some of the most incredible casino wins of all time.
Oh, yeah.
These are the stories that make you wonder,
What if
that was me?
the kind of wins that seem to defy all odds?
Definitely.
We'll start with a game that's captivated players for centuries.
Okay.
Blackjack. A perfect blend of skill and chance.
That's right. It's fascinating because it allows for a certain level of control.
Right, you're not just spinning a roulette wheel.
Yeah.
You're making decisions that can directly impact the outcome.
And when you're playing for astronomical sums,
Huge sums.
those decisions become even more crucial.
That brings us to Kerry Packer, an Australian media tycoon who took the blackjack world by storm in the 90s.
He was a legend.
Imagine sitting at a table, not just playing one hand of blackjack,
Oh, no.
but 8 hands simultaneously.
With $250,000 riding on each one.
Yeah, Packer was known for his aggressive style of play.
He wasn't afraid to push the limits.
No.
Bet big, win big.
Exactly, and reports vary
Yeah.
on exactly how much he won during that streak.
What are we talking about?
It's estimated to be somewhere between $10 and $40 million.
Enough to buy a private jet on a whim?
You got it.
It makes you wonder what drives someone to gamble at that level.
Yeah, is it the thrill of the win? The adrenaline rush?
Maybe something else entirely.
It's a complex question. Some are drawn to the challenge,
Right.
the mental game of outsmarting the casino.
Others might be seeking an escape,
Could be.
a way to test their limits,
Yeah.
push their luck.
And of course,
Can't forget.
the allure of wealth.
Hmm.
The possibility of turning a dream into reality with a single hand of cards.
And Packer's story really captures the duality of high-stakes gambling,
For sure.
the incredible highs of winning,
Mm-hmm.
and the potential for equally crushing losses.
It's a roller coaster.
He was known to win millions one night and lose just as much the next.
That's the thing about gambling.
Like he was indifferent to the money itself.
It's about more than money.
Absolutely. It was about the human element,
Yeah.
the psychology behind the risk, the ambition, the desire to defy the odds
A high wire axe.
with incredibly high stakes.
You're fascinated and terrified at the same time.
Speaking of high stakes, let's move on to Baccarat,
The game of elegance.
a game that's synonymous with luxury and big wins.
It's a favorite among high rollers.
Played in those exclusive roped-off areas of the casino.
It has a certain mystique about it.
It does.
Easy to learn.
Yeah.
But the strategies can be complex.
Especially when you're betting hundreds of thousands or even millions per hand.
stats.
Unlike blackjack, where you're trying to beat the dealer.
Right.
Baccarat is more about predicting the outcome of a hand.
Between the player and the banker.
Less emphasis on individual skill.
More on betting on the odds.
With a relatively low house edge.
Attracts players confident in their ability to read patterns.
Make calculated risks.
It's about intuition as much as understanding probabilities.
A player who mastered that intuition was Lin Haisan.
Oh, yes.
Back in 2015, he won the World Series Baccarat Championship.
Huge.
Took home a prize of nearly $13 million.
Think about that.
That's not just a win, it's a Guinness World Record
A legend.
for the largest Baccarat tournament prize ever awarded.
Amazing.
Imagine the pressure of competing at that level
Millions of dollars on the line.
and the world watching.
Every move.
It wasn't just luck,
No.
it was strategic thinking, staying calm under pressure,
Absolutely.
and mastering the game.
Definitely.
Even in a game of chance, preparation and skill can make all the difference,
But luck always plays a role.
as we'll see in our next story.
Oh, this one is good. It involves a high-stakes player,
Okay.
a famous businessman,
All right.
and a dramatic turn of events, straight out of a Hollywood movie.
I'm hooked. Tell me more.
This takes us back to the 80s, to the glitz and glamour of Atlantic City.
The casinos were booming.
Fortunes won and lost every night.
Our protagonist is Akio Kashiwagi,
A Japanese real estate mogul,
known for his extravagant lifestyle.
and his love of high-stakes gambling.
So we're talking about a guy who's used to taking risks,
Oh, yeah,
playing for big money.
absolutely.
What was his game?
Baccarat, of course.
Of course.
He was known to bet hundreds of thousands of dollars per hand,
Sometimes even more.
and his preferred opponent, none other than Donald Trump.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Back then, he owned several casinos in Atlantic City.
Wow, I can only imagine those clashes at the Baccarat table.
Oh, it was a clash of personalities and fortunes.
I bet.
On one occasion, Kashiwagi went on a winning streak.
How much are we talking?
Over $6 million from Trump's casino.
6 million.
He was betting $250,000 per hand.
Wow.
And playing at an unbelievable pace.
How fast?
Sometimes up to 70 hands an hour.
That's insane.
I know, right?
I bet Trump wasn't too happy about losing that much money.
Well, he wasn't thrilled. But instead of backing down, he challenged Kashiwagi to a rematch.
A high-stakes duel.
It was all or nothing.
Did Kashiwagi back down?
Never. He accepted.
Just like a scene from a movie.
Two titans locked in a battle of wits and fortunes.
Who won?
Well, that's what we'll delve into when we come back after the break.
You won't want to miss it.
Trust me.
We'll be back right after this.
Welcome back. You'll remember we left off with Akio Kashiwagi up millions against Donald Trump in a high-stakes baccarat showdown.
The tension must have been palpable. So what happened next?
Well, Trump, being Trump, he wasn't about to let a loss of that magnitude just slide.
Right.
He proposed a rematch.
No.
But with a twist.
A twist.
Kashiwagi could either double his winnings or lose everything he'd won.
So Trump essentially raised the stakes.
Yeah, made it an all-or-nothing proposition. It was a bold move.
Yeah.
One that spoke volumes about both men's, appetite for risk. And Kashiwagi, never one to back down from a challenge, he accepted.
I mean, it's like a scene from a movie, right?
Yeah.
Two larger-than-life figures just locked in this battle of, wits and fortunes. So which way did the pendulum swing?
Well, this time, fortune favored Trump. Kashiwagi, he hit a losing streak, and true to their agreement, Trump called off the game before Kashiwagi could recoup his losses.
So he walked away empty-handed.
He did, having lost the $6 million he had previously won.
Ouch. That's gotta hurt. It really highlights the unpredictable nature of gambling, right? Even for these seasoned high rollers.
Absolutely. You can be on top of the world one minute and then lose it all the next. It's a constant reminder that no matter how skilled or experienced you are, luck always plays a role. And actually, Kashiwagi's story takes an even darker turn.
What do you mean?
A few years after this encounter with Trump, Kashiwagi was found murdered in his home in Japan.
Oh, wow.
The circumstances surrounding his death, they remain a mystery to this day.
That's a tragic end to a life filled with such, highs and lows.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the potential consequences of gambling, right? Especially when you're operating at that level.
Definitely.
It's not just about the money. It's about the risks involved, both financial and personal.
You're right. These stories, they're a cautionary tale, a reminder that gambling can be a, seductive but dangerous game. Now, let's move on to a game that's purely based on chance.
Roulette.
Roulette. The spinning wheel, the clattering ball, the anticipation as it finally settles into a slot. It's a game that's captivated gamblers for centuries.
It's fascinating because it strips away any illusion of control. You're not making strategic decisions. You're simply betting on where the ball will land. Pure luck. And sometimes those lucky streaks can be truly astonishing.
Like the story of Pedro Grandin Bartel.
Oh, yeah.
The Brazilian billionaire who walked into a casino and placed a single bet of $35,000 on the number 32. And wouldn't you know it, the ball landed right on 32.
Turning his bet into a cool $1.2 million. It's amazing how a single spin of the wheel can just, change someone's life.
It is. There are a lot of exaggerated stories out there about roulette wins, but this one was real. It just goes to show that sometimes even the most improbable outcomes can occur.
It's a reminder that anything is possible, right?
Yeah.
Even in a game where the odds are stacked against you.
Exactly. And speaking of defying the odds, we have to talk about Charles DeVille Wells, a man who became a legend in the world of roulette.
How so?
By doing something almost unthinkable. Back in 1891, Wells walked into the Monte Carlo casino and proceeded to do what gamblers call breaking the bank.
Breaking the bank.
Which means winning so much money that the table runs out of funds.
Wow.
He turned a modest $5,000 into a fortune estimated to be around $5 million in today's money.
$5 million in the 1890s. That's an astronomical sum.
Yeah.
How did he manage to pull that off? Was he some kind of roulette savant, able to predict the spin of the wheel with uncanny accuracy?
That's where things get a bit murky. While Wells's win is documented, there are suspicions that he may have used some sort of system, or perhaps even had inside information about the wheel.
So it's possible he was more of a cunning strategist
Yeah.
than a lucky gambler.
Exactly. It's impossible to say for sure, but his story adds a layer of intrigue to the already captivating world of roulette. It shows that even in a game of pure chance, there's always room for a little bit of mystery. And, the possibility that someone somewhere might have found a way to beat the system.
It's those stories, ones with a little bit of mystery, that make this so captivating. They just fuel our imaginations and make us wonder if maybe, just maybe, there are secrets to winning that we haven't discovered yet.
Speaking of games where secrets and strategies play a role, let's roll the dice and delve into the exciting world of craps.
Craps, the game where the energy is electric and the cheers just erupt with every roll of the dice. It's a game that seems simple on the surface but has this surprising depth of strategy and nuance.
You're right. It's more than just rolling dice and hoping for the best. There are a variety of bets you can make, each with its own set of odds and potential payouts. And some players have become legends by understanding those odds and pushing their luck to the limit.
Like the man known only as the Suitcase Man.
Right. His story is one of the most audacious and memorable in craps history.
Tell me more.
This happened back in 1980 at Binion's Horseshoe Casino in Las Vegas. The suitcase man, whose real name was William Lee Bergstrom, he walked in with two suitcases. One was filled with $777,000 in cash.
Okay.
The other was completely empty.
Right.
He approached a craps table and, with a quiet confidence that stunned onlookers, placed his entire fortune on a single bet.
$777,000 on one bet. That's insane. What kind of bet was it?
He bet on the don't pass line,
Go pass.
which essentially means betting against the shooter. It's not a common bet, especially at that level, but Bergstrom was clearly a man who played by his own rules.
So he was going against the grain, betting into the crowd's energy. What happened?
He won. The dice rolled in his favor, and he walked away with over $1.5 million in cash, which Benny Binion himself helped him pack into that empty suitcase.
That's incredible.
The suitcase man became an instant legend, a symbol of, daring and defying the odds.
It's an incredible story, but it doesn't have a happy ending, does it?
Unfortunately, no. 5 years after his epic win, Bergstrom, struggling with personal issues, tragically took his own life.
It's a reminder that even the biggest wins can't always solve life's problems.
Yeah.
And the gambling, while exciting and potentially lucrative, should always be approached with caution and responsibility.
Exactly. It's a poignant reminder that there's more to life than money, and that chasing wins shouldn't come at the expense of our well-being. Speaking of chasing wins, craps is also known for these legendary winning streaks, particularly those involving players who possess what's known as a golden arm.
A golden arm. What's that?
A golden arm is a craps player who can seemingly roll the dice for hours without ever crapping out, which means rolling a 7.
So basically, they're like dice rolling wizards, able to manipulate the odds with their sheer willpower.
Well, it's not magic, but it's certainly a captivating sight to behold. One of the most famous Goldie Arms was Stanley Fujitake.
Okay.
Back in 1989, he rolled the dice for an astonishing 3 hours and 6 minutes without hitting a 7.
3 hours. That's longer than some movies. I can barely hold my attention for that long, let alone maintain that level of focus and precision while rolling dice. What was the impact of his, marathon roll on the casino?
It's estimated that Fujitake's epic straight cost the casino over $1 million.
Wow.
They were practically begging him to crap out, but the dice just kept rolling in his favor.
$1 million. That's one expensive dice rolling session. It really highlights the power of probability, how even in a game designed to favor the house, those odds can sometimes swing wildly in the player's direction.
Right. It's a reminder that anything is possible, even in a game of chance. But as remarkable as Fujitake's achievement was, the record for the longest craps roll actually belongs to Patricia DeMauro, a grandmother from New Jersey.
A grandmother from New Jersey. This I've got to hear. Tell me more about her incredible streak.
Back in 2009, DeMauro, who was a regular at the Borgata Casino in Atlantic City, she stepped up to a craps table and proceeded to roll the dice for an unbelievable 4 hours and 18 minutes without hitting a 7.
4 hours and 18 minutes.
Her streak shattered Fujitake's record by over an hour, solidifying her place in craps history.
That's incredible. I bet the casino was sweating bullets as her streak continued. They must have lost a fortune.
Well, here's the interesting part. While DeMauro's roll set a new world record, the stakes weren't as high as in Fujitake's case. Her bets were more modest, and the casino's losses are estimated to have been around $200,000.
So the casino got off relatively easy this time. But her story is still remarkable. It shows that anyone, even a grandmother from New Jersey, can have a moment of gambling glory, defying the odds and etching their name in the history book.
Exactly. It's a testament to the unpredictable nature of luck and the fact that sometimes the most unexpected players can achieve extraordinary things. Now let's shift gears and step outside the walls of the casino to explore a form of gambling that's gained immense popularity in recent years. Sports betting.
Sports betting. A world where knowledge of the game, strategic analysis, and a healthy dose of luck can lead to some truly impressive payouts. And speaking of impressive payouts, we can't talk about sports betting without mentioning the legend himself, Mattress Mac.
Ah, yes. Jim Meckingvale, better known as Mattress Mac, the furniture mogul from Texas who's turned sports betting into an art form,
An art form.
blending risky wagers with clever business strategies.
Okay, now you've piqued my interest.
Ah.
Fill me in on how Mattress Mac made his mark in the world of sports betting.
Well, he's not your average gambler. He's known for placing these massive bets,
Massive.
often millions of dollars,
Millions.
on major sporting events. But what sets him apart is how he uses these bets to kind of hedge against promotions at his furniture stores.
So it's not just about winning the bet.
No,
It's about using it as a business strategy.
exactly. It's a brilliant concept.
How so?
He'll offer customers deals like, if the Astros win the World Series, you get your furniture for free.
Okay.
Then he'll place a huge bet on the Astros. If they win, he covers the cost of the free furniture with his winnings.
And if they lose?
Well, he still makes money from the furniture sales.
So no matter what,
He wins.
that's a pretty clever strategy.
It takes the sting out of a potential loss, turns a risky gamble into a calculated marketing move.
And it's paid off for him.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
In 2022, he bet $10 million on the Houston Astros to win the World Series.
Man.
They won. He walked away with $75 million.
Wow.
The biggest single payout in sports betting history. $75 million. That's incredible.
It just goes to show that sometimes the biggest risks can lead to the biggest rewards.
But it also takes, a certain level of business savvy
Yeah.
and a willingness to think outside the box.
For sure. Mattress Mac's story is
yeah.
a perfect example of how gambling can be more than just a game of chance.
It can be a tool
Right.
for strategic thinking, risk management.
Even marketing.
We've seen how luck, skill, and sometimes sheer audacity can lead to life-changing fortunes.
But it's important to remember,
Yeah.
these are exceptional cases.
They capture our imaginations.
But we need to approach gambling with a realistic mindset.
Absolutely.
It's about enjoying the thrill, the possibility of winning.
But understanding the risks,
Right.
setting limits,
Playing responsibly.
never betting more than you can afford to lose.
Exactly. Gambling should be entertainment.
Not a path to financial ruin.
The house always has an edge.
But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy the experience.
And maybe even walk away with a little extra cash. Find the balance between the thrill of the game and responsible play.
Who knows?
Maybe one of our listeners
Yeah.
will be the next big winner we feature on Gambling Flow.
We'd love to hear your stories.
Big or small.
Share them with us on social media.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for more insights into the world of gambling.
And don't forget to subscribe to Gambling Flow on your favorite podcast platform.
We release new episodes every week.
Packed with insights, analysis,
And a bit of humor.
to keep things interesting.
We're your one-stop shop for all things gambling.
Thanks for joining us.
On this deep dive into the biggest casino wins ever.
I'm Fiona Blake.
I'm Russell Kane.
Remember, gamble responsibly, stay informed,
And most importantly,
have fun.